Guys, is Arboliva EX real? You might be looking at this EX Pokemon and thinking, what in the world is that? Where's it from? Because I don't remember it. It's from Destined Rivals, and this EX Pokemon is, actually viable, I want to say. It's kind of a fun little thing that maybe you haven't considered trying or reading the card of, and we're gonna do that today. And how playing it right now in our Western meta is going to be quite different from how Japan received this card. So stay tuned. First off, let's look at this card. It's 310 HP on a stage 2. The attack is for 1 grass. Oil Salvo. We're spilling oil. Basically choosing one of your opponent's Pokemon 6 times. I know that's weird wording, but basically, that is kind of accurate to what you're doing. You can choose the same Pokemon more than once. You can choose, like, 2, you can choose whatever. And for each time you choose a Pokemon, you do 20 damage to it. And it's not affected by weakness or resistance. So, you're thinking, alright, that's 120 damage right there. And the other attack, while it can be used, is not really often used at all. Yeah, we're talking about, I guess it has some fringe use, boy, but a lot of decks too. You can go, like, pretty skimpy on the grass energy and make this work still. But Arboliva is, I believe in Arboliva, and it was fun to play with, I have to say. With this Pokemon, we are going to pair it with an old friend, okay? An old friend, do you know who you think? It's gonna be Dusknoir. Our meta right now in the West is actually very different from Japan, because we don't have Psyduck. Psyduck is the important card. We're gonna get into that. And so, right now is the time that Arboliva is actually good here, and might not be so in Japan, but, like, even in Japan, it's still doing well, because it's an actual deck, I would say. This is a pairing match made in heaven, almost. You can go ahead and drop damage all over, and Dusknoir also lets you drop damage all over. Now, the reason I said our metas are quite different, and I mentioned the Psyduck, is because this Psyduck is one that puts Dusknoir in check with its ability. Its damp ability says that, you know, you can't do Curse Blast, basically. And so, for that reason, since we don't have Psyduck yet, this could be a play if you want to just try something that's a little different and really take advantage of using the Dusknoir package once more. We already see a lot of Dusknoir, but this is another idea. Now, we can be using Dusknoir to squish up Pokemon and then have Arboliva come in for the kill to finish them off. Or we could have Arboliva squishing them up, and then Dusknoir going in for the kill and taking them off. You know? So they work together well, and it's just about spreading damage, getting numbers, making sure they're in range of KO when you want to KO them and everything. And it's gonna be fun. And I had fun with this thing. Now, early game, what's that gonna look like? I would say early game is, of course, getting these Stage 2 Pokemon up, especially Arboliva. Now, the way to do that is probably going to be through Grand Tree. This A-Spec has so much text on it, I know, but it also is great for these types of decks, the big Stage 2, because we can have Arboliva ready on turn 2. You can't... Basically, Grand Tree is a stadium that lets you, once during your turn, you can search for a Stage 1 Pokemon that evolves from their basic and put it on that Pokemon to evolve it, and then just search for the Stage 2, put it on that Pokemon to evolve it. Now, the only restriction is that you can't actually, you still have to follow evolution rules, which means you can't do it the first turn, or the first turn they come into play, but turn 2 Arboliva is real, and that's awesome. That is an awesome A-Spec to play. We don't want to go too slow now. Now, you could consider Colress, and we do see some Colresses as a 4 of in these lists as well, just to really hammer home the importance of that. And I really enjoy how Dusknoir and Arboliva are making good attack partners, because they really cover each other's back. And, you know, they can solve some of the problems. Like, Shaman could be a problem, because we're working with Arboliva doing damage. Now, Shaman does not protect against effects like Curse Blast dropping damage counters, but we can definitely do that, drop them all onto Shaman, so then Arboliva can do its spread attack and all that. And, you know, here are, again, some deck lists, just so we can start to begin to see how this might work and stuff. We have Arbolivas, maybe like 2 of them. You want to get your small lives out early, your Duskull. I feel like it's been a bit since I've seen, like, a big high count of Dusknoir in a deck, and it's not like a Charizard Dragapult mix, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So and they are pretty consistent. I mean, we have the Arboliva, the Dusknoir, the Badoo, and then we also have the Halucha, the Blood Moon Ursaluna, the Badoo, yeah, I already said Badoo, the Squawk, all that stuff. And our A-Spec stays consistent. Another consistent thing, actually, is gonna be this Academy at Night Stadium. I am gonna be honest. I don't know what what that one is for, like that niche play you're going for. Because Academy at Night is a stadium that lets you put one card from your hand to the top of the deck, but I am not sure the play. So if you could tell me, that would be awesome. Because I'm like, is it maybe like Iono protection? Like, I feel so silly not knowing why there's just so consistently Academy at Night. But anyway, Colress is the 4 of, this one is the 2 of, but, a lot of consistency cards to find the stadium to kind of do what you need to do. The jamming towers make sense, all that. This one has a little ticket, so it's kind of varied. Those are just some examples. And as I said, Halucha is also a staple in many of these decks because it has flying entry. Now, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put 1 damage counter on each of them. Now, this is great because it brings down the 70 HP Pokemon to 60 HP, which means you can pick them 3 times with Arboliva and drop damage counters on them to KO them instead of 4. So, really nice with the Halucha. Bear Assist is right. Ursaluna EX is a great card. It's great in decks, and it has a good Blood Moon attack at 240 damage, but honestly, 240 damage for many Pokemon in the format is just not enough, and it's so upsetting. How can we reach the huge Pokemon, Well, we can easily do that with the bear and our other guys. Basically, we can use the Arboliva to soften them up, or the Dusknoir, and then we can go ahead and just make sure Ursaluna cleans up. We can also be mindful of when we're giving prize cards to the opponent via Dusknoir. Because Dusknoir blows itself up as its ability as to use it to drop those damage counters, you automatically give your opponent a prize card in return for that blow up. So, if you can just make sure you're making these strategic plays and doing it the right way, you can also bring that cost of the Blood Moon attack down, because the Season Skill ability says that Blood Moon is 1 colorless less for each prize card your opponent has taken. So timing that as well to make it so that Ursaluna is now in range of KOing them is important, especially for big bad Pokemon like, Raging Bolt, but even like Dragapult, the ones over 300 HP. Stuff like that. So it's a very fun little thing. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks again, because I really appreciate it and it helps out so much. Helps me out and it helps spread the videos and stuff, and I want to make content curated for you guys to learn a bit more and kind of visualize and see these things to hopefully make you better players, or we can learn together, that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and do that. I appreciate you for watching. Feel free to leave a like if you can or wish to. Subscribe for more. Ring that Bronzong Beast bell, whatever he's shaking. Thank you again. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!